Today we're tackling something pretty much all of us have been through, or will go through, a broken heart. We're going to get into the science of why it hurts so incredibly much and what is actually going on inside your brain and your body when a relationship ends. So let's just paint a picture here, one that probably feels a little too real for some of us. You've probably heard a friend who's just gone through a breakup say something just like this.
We hear stuff like this all the time, right? And we kind of think, a broken heart, that's just a poetic way to say you're sad. But what if it's not a metaphor? What if that physical feeling, that literal ache in your chest, is way more real than you've ever imagined?
Or maybe you've got a friend who swears they're over it, but then you find out they're up at 2 in the morning, endlessly scrolling through their ex's Instagram. It's like watching someone going through withdrawal, right? They're acting completely illogically, just desperate for one more little hit.
And if you just step back and look, the pattern is impossible to ignore. A breakup doesn't just mess with your head, it throws your entire body into total chaos. Suddenly you can't sleep, or you have zero appetite. You try to work, but your brain is just foggy. You might even find yourself getting sick way more easily. It's a full-on, body-wide crisis.
And what's really interesting is that we also see these patterns in how men and women tend to cope. Now, of course, these are generalizations, but research shows that women often feel a more intense, crushing pain right at the beginning. But because they tend to actively process those emotions, they're more likely to fully recover. Guys, on the other hand, often jump straight to distraction, rebound relationships, going out all the time, which can mean they actually stay emotionally hung up on the person for way, way longer.
So you've got the chest pain, the obsessive behavior, the physical sickness. All of this stuff points to one massive central question. Why in the world does our body react so violently to something that's just an emotional event? Well, the answer isn't in our feelings. It's in our biology.
So we really have to ask, why does emotional pain feel so incredibly physical? Are we just bad at managing our emotions? Or is there actually a deep biological reason that our brain and our body feel like they are literally breaking down?
And the answer is something called social pain. See, your brain doesn't have two separate alarm systems for pain. It just has one. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes perfect sense. For our ancient ancestors, being rejected and cast out from the tribe was a literal death sentence. So the brain had to learn to treat social rejection with the exact same urgency as a physical injury. Now, this is where it gets absolutely wild. Neuroscientists put heartbroken people into fMRI brain scanners, and when they showed them a photo of their ex, the same parts of their brain lit up as if you'd poured hot coffee on their arm. Specifically, regions like the DACC and the anterior insula, the core of your physical pain network, were screaming with activity. That's why your chest physically hurts. Your brain is literally telling your body, we are injured, sound the alarm. And here's the other crucial piece of the puzzle. Being in love floods your brain with dopamine, activating the very same reward circuits as addictive drugs. So when that relationship ends, it's not just that you're sad. Your brain is literally, and I mean literally, going through withdrawal. That intense craving, that powerful urge to just call them one more time. That's not a weakness, it's a neurobiological addiction response.
And of course, what happens in the brain doesn't stay in the brain. That neurological crisis kicks off a massive, cascading series of effects that put your entire body on high alert.
Just look at this chemical cocktail. All of your feel-good chemicals, like dopamine and the bonding hormone oxytocin, completely tank. And at the exact same moment, your system gets flooded with the stress hormone cortisol. It's like your body's fight or flight alarm gets stuck in the on position, leaving you feeling exhausted, anxious, and on edge 24/7. In the most extreme but very real cases, this hormonal surge can actually lead to a recognized medical condition. It's called Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, but everyone knows it by its other name, broken heart syndrome. The heart muscle literally gets stunned by stress and physically changes shape.
And get this chart just perfectly illustrates how physically powerful heartbreak can be. During an episode of broken heart syndrome, the level of stress hormones released can be 2 to 3 times higher than during a typical heart attack. Think about that for a second. An emotional event causing a more profound physiological stress response than a heart attack. This is not a metaphor.
Okay, so knowing all this science isn't just about validating the pain. It's much more important than that. It actually gives us a clear, science-backed roadmap for how to heal. This isn't about just waiting for time to pass. It's about taking specific actions. Healing from this requires an active intervention. First, you have to do a dopamine detox. That means a strict no-contact rule. Block them, mute them, whatever it takes. You have to give your brain's reward circuits a chance to reset. Second, you have to actively soothe that overactive nervous system to bring your cortisol levels down. Deep breathing, exercise, things like that. And finally, and this is huge, you need to reframe the experience. You are not just sad or being dramatic. Your body is recovering from a major neurobiological event. Give yourself that grace.
But here's the thing. Healing isn't just about getting back to where you were before. The entire point of this painful process can actually be about becoming something more. And the most hopeful piece of science in this whole story is a principle called neuroplasticity. The bottom line is, your brain is not set in stone. It is designed to change, to adapt, to literally rewire itself based on your experiences.
And in a strange way, the sheer intensity of heartbreak is what makes it such a powerful catalyst for change. It forces your brain to tear down those old, maybe even toxic neural pathways, and gives you the opportunity to build new, stronger, and healthier ones from scratch.
So here's the ultimate takeaway. Understanding the science validates that your pain is real, it's biological, it's powerful. But it also reveals a clear path forward. It shows that this awful experience can be the very thing that triggers what psychologists call post-traumatic growth. So instead of seeing this as just an ending, what if this is actually the beginning of a much, much stronger version of you?